Joining me now is France 24's James André. He's in Zaporizhzhia for us. James, an hour or so ago, you actually witnessed those inspectors arriving in Zaporizhzhia. What more can you tell us?
Yes, well, indeed, those inspectors arrived and they crossed the Dnieper River right here in Zaporizhzhia and have carried on towards the plant directly. From what we're hearing through Russian media, actually, right now they are at the Vasylyevka checkpoint, which is the only passage point between Ukrainian territory and Russian-occupied areas. And indeed, for now, it appears they are stuck at that checkpoint. Now, later on, indeed, they will be able to inspect, very probably, if they're let through, they will be able to inspect this nuclear plant. They will check it for its structural integrity. They will also verify that the emergency systems are all operational, and they will also assess the working conditions of the roughly 1,000 Ukrainian engineers who are still running that plant that is under Russian military control since March this year. So there are reports here in Ukraine that working conditions are dire on the plant, so they will be able to assess that. What we are hearing as well is that Russia is calling for a one-day inspection on the 1st of September. The IAEA say they need several days in order to check the facility, and indeed Rafael Grossi, the leader of that agency, has made it quite clear that what he would like to do is install a permanent mission to monitor this nuclear plant during the war.
And James, for the past couple of weeks now, we've been hearing accusations from the Russians and from the Ukrainians that the other side is shelling near the plant. You're in the area. Is that something that you've witnessed? What can you tell us about what's happening on the ground?
But what I can tell you is that we tried to go to Nikopol. Nikopol is the city that's just across the power plant on the other side of the Dnieper River, which is probably about 5 kilometers as the crow flies, or maybe less. And indeed, in Nikopol, we were not allowed to enter the city. We were denied access by the military at the entrance of the city on the grounds that it was too dangerous for us to enter, and that they were only letting in the local populations and people who had authorization to enter the zone. So what we did here, though, was some detonations, but those were outgoing fire by Ukrainian forces. We also had reports in the night, last night, that there were Russian shelling on the city of Nikopol, 12 shells that fell, wounding one woman in the city. And indeed, yesterday we met some residents of Nikopol who were not sleeping in their houses because they were too afraid and choosing to sleep in the vicinity of the city, in villages, in woods, in order to shelter from potential Russian fire. So yes, a tense situation along the Dnieper River, which has become the front line in this specific part of the war.
James André in Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine. Thanks very much indeed.